I've been trying to figure out what I want to do with my life. Everyone says to pursue your true calling, but what if you don't know what truly inspires you? What if you're afraid you'll never be good enough at anything?
Welcome to Cuento Resonante, Episode 14, The Teacher Without a Classroom. As an old man sits on a park bench, lost in thought with a well-worn book by his side, a young man approaches him, seeking guidance on a pressing question: how to find genuine enthusiasm and purpose in life. This fictional story shares their conversation, revealing timeless truths about the journey of learning and the importance of embracing uncertainty. Now, on with the story: The Teacher Without a Classroom.
The Teacher Without a Classroom. On a crisp autumn afternoon, the golden leaves rustled gently in the breeze at Willow Grove Park. On a bench overlooking the tranquil shoreline of a small lake, an old man sat, lost in thought. His worn cardigan and neatly pressed slacks gave him the air of someone who had once been meticulous in his work. Beside him lay a book, its pages dog-eared from years of use. This was Mr. Cheung, a retired teacher who had spent decades shaping young minds in a classroom filled with sunlight and chalk dust. Now, in his retirement, he found solace in this quiet corner of the world, where the chatter of squirrels and the occasional laughter of children replaced the hum of a bustling classroom. As Mr. Cheung stared out over the water, a young man approached. He was tall and gangly, with a notebook tucked under his arm and a look of determination tinged with uncertainty in his eyes. Clearing his throat, he stood before the old teacher, shifting awkwardly from one foot to the other.
Excuse me, sir.
The young man began, his voice hesitant but earnest.
Are you, by chance, a teacher?
Mr. Cheung turned, his weathered face breaking into a kind smile.
I am.
He replied,
Though these days I'm a teacher without a classroom, but still a teacher nevertheless.
The young man's face brightened.
I thought so. I'm sorry to bother you, but I've been struggling with a question and, well, you seem like someone who might have an answer.
Intrigued, Mr. Cheung gestured to the empty spot on the bench beside him.
Please sit. What is troubling you?
The young man sat down, clutching his notebook tightly.
I've been trying to figure out what I want to do with my life. Everyone says to pursue your true calling, but what if you don't know what truly inspires you? What if you're afraid you'll never be good enough at anything?
Mr. Cheung leaned back, folding his hands in his lap. His gaze drifted to the lake, where a flock of geese glided serenely across the water.
A question as old as time.
He said, his voice warm and steady.
Let me tell you something, my young friend. When I first started teaching, I wasn't sure I was cut out for it. My first classroom was chaotic, and I made more mistakes than I cared to admit. But I learned something valuable. A genuine enthusiasm for what you do isn't always something you start with. Sometimes it is something you discover along the way.
The young man tilted his head.
You mean you didn't always want to be a teacher?
Mr. Cheung chuckled softly.
Not at first, but as I work with my students, I realized that their curiosity and determination inspired me. Seeing them grasp a new concept or achieve something that they thought impossible, that became my driving force. And do you know what else I learned? It is okay not to know everything at the start. Life has a way of revealing your path if you open to it.
The young man nodded slowly, his grip on the notebook relaxing.
But what if I'm not good enough?
He asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Mr. Cheung turned to him, his expression serious but kind.
Everyone feels that way at some point.
He said,
But here's the secret. Failure is a teacher too. Some of my greatest lessons came from moments when I stumble. What matters isn't stumbling and falling, but getting back up and trying again. Every attempt makes you stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the next challenge.
They sat in silence for a moment, the young man absorbing the words. Finally, he asked, Do you miss it? Teaching, I mean. Mr. Cheung's eyes softened as he glanced at the book beside him.
I do.
He admitted.
My retirement may have claimed my classroom, but not my spirit. That's why I have decided to make the world my classroom. Every conversation, every interaction. A dared opportunity to share knowledge and learn from others. Like this moment, right here.
The young man smiled, a newfound resolve shining in his eyes.
Thank you. I think I understand now. It's not about having all the answers right away. It's about being willing to keep learning.
Exactly.
Mr. Cheung said, patting the young man's shoulder.
And if you ever need guidance, remember that wisdom can be found in unexpected places, even on a park bench on a fall day.
The young man stood, his notebook now held with purpose.
I'll remember that. Thank you.
As the young man walked away, Mr. Cheung watched him go, a gentle smile on his face. Turning back to the lake, he picked up his book and opened it to a familiar page. The teacher without a classroom had found yet another student, and in doing so, he had once again fulfilled his calling. The end.
The remainder of this podcast episode will feature the performance of 2 songs, Beyond the Classroom and The Greatest Gift, followed by instrumental music. A link to the story transcript and song lyrics can be found in the description area of this podcast episode. Now, let's proceed with the music.
Wisdom doesn't retire with age. It finds new classrooms in unexpected places. Life's lessons continue far beyond the classroom. Every interaction is a chance to teach and learn. Having only information, you still have more to learn. Wisdom comes later with experience and perseverance. Embrace the uncertainty of your journey, for in seeking you may find your true calling. Failure is not the end, but a beginning. Each stumble teaches us to rise stronger. The path to success is paved with attempts. Courage grows with every every challenge faced. The world is an endless source of knowledge. Open your mind to lessons in every moment. True wisdom is shared across generations. In guiding others, we continue to grow ourselves.
Wisdom flows beyond classroom walls. In quiet moments, knowledge shines. Through every stumble, we stand tall. Each step a lesson that refines. Questions asked and stories shared unveil the strength that guides us home. In unexpected places, if we dare, we find courage for the path unknown. Every meeting holds a chance to learn from joy and from our pain. Continue the journey, always advance.